funny what we remember. Some people remember the good times, others remember the bad, and some remember a game called Flashback. Released in 1992, it sits on lists next to the original Prince of Persia and Another World as a cinematic platformer that epitomizes everything the genre was about. You may or may not remember it yourself, but records don't lie, it's kind of a big deal. So, a full HD remake released as part of the 2013 Xbox Live Summer of Arcade definitely deserves your attention, right? Right?
Fine, Ian. You're not safe.
No, wait. Well, remember a few seconds ago when we said it's funny what you remember? When people bring up Flashback, they remember a few things. Most of all, the name of its creator, Paul Cuisset. You may be thinking, I've heard that name before. And you might be right. You might be right. Let's have a quick skim over his resume. He followed up Flashback in 1994 with Shaq Fu, okay. Then, after a string of forgettable, unremarkable games, he made Amy? Amy? Oh, hang on a minute, not the possibly worst game of 2012, Amy. That's Amy. Really? Unfortunately, yes.
You gotta be kidding me.
By now, you should be forewarned that Flashback HD, the Flashback of 2013, Flashback 2, Flashbackana, is not a very good game. It's glitchy, clunky, frustrating, boring, and even obnoxious in its worst moments. As in the original, you play as Conrad B. Hart, a charming young man who, gosh darn it, has lost his memory. Waking up alone in an alien jungle, he's directed by a hologram of himself to seek out a friend who can help him retrieve his identity and later save the world. This time, however, Conrad's not silent. He has a voice, and the mysterious narrative has more cutscenes and exposition than you'll care to sit through. None of this would be so bad if it weren't, you know, so bad. Flashback features some of the year's worst dialogue, which always seems to pipe in at just the right moment to break any suspense or tension you may be currently feeling.
Ah, damn. Okay, that hurts.
Thankfully, where the story of the game has been made worse, the gameplay has, we'd argue, been greatly improved. Obscure and tricky interactions were a large part of what made Flashback good in the first place, but going back to it now is not an experience you'd define as fun. Switching this all out for more fluid, analog aiming, forgiving jumps and clear interaction prompts and waypoints, how you feel about it will be closely tied, I imagine, to your feelings and experience with other similar titles, old and new. We think it's an improvement, but if you don't like it, fear not. The old version of Flashback is included as well. Unfortunately, you have to play it inside this stupid arcade cabinet frame, so no, it doesn't even get the straight port right. But going back to it briefly as a bonus, you might be impressed with its style and subtlety. But the longer you play, the more the feeling dawns on you that this game and everything good about it is an anomaly, and that it's what was bad about it that might need more of your attention. The 2013 edition of Flashback isn't just not worth your time in itself, it will lead you to question just how good the original game was in the first place. By that standard, it has to be one of the worst remakes ever, which is funny really, because for fleeting moments, it's not actually that bad. It does improve on its predecessor in some important ways. It does have some nice, if generic, style here and there, and we'll be quoting it for months to come.
Awesome sauce.
But on the whole, we have to say, Flashback, forget it.